All right, everybody, it's Sarah Zolecki. I am super excited about this call. First of all, I want to welcome you guys. This is our very first ever Director One and Above call. Guys, I've been involved in the industry, well, I should say this business 6 years, right? 6 years, 29 signed on May 15th of this. Of 5 years ago, well, 6 years ago, excuse me. And this is our very first director and above call. So I am so stoked. I'm giving you guys a big, huge virtual group hug right now. We've got just some really great stuff that I want to share with you guys tonight. I do want to let you guys know a little bit about how this call is going to work. So first thing I want to let you guys know, please make sure that you mark your calendars. Every week without fail, we're going to be doing this Monday call, even if it's before a holiday or what have you. We want to stay congruent. We want to stay consistent. I think most of you guys know all the elites and above that are participating on this call. We are consistent as the sun rises and the sun sets every day. And so for us, it's really important that we do this call every Monday night, 8:30 Central. It will be recorded. Here is a really cool thing, guys, that we're going to be doing on this call. We are going to be having other elites that just represent this amazing leadership team participating on these D1 and above calls. Our heart really is this, guys, is that we know that we're the biggest and the baddest team inside of Modere, and we want to grow it. And we want to grow it to where there's just so many elites that are happening and that are just coming out of the woodwork that are like popcorn popping, right? And so we were like, how do we do that? Like, how do we do that in a way that's going to be fast? How do we do that in a way that's going to help these guys grow as quickly as possible? How can we help them accelerate their growth? And guess what? We know we got to pour into you guys. We know that there can't be any like trade secrets. We know that there can't be any like secret sauce that you're like, hey guys, like we need to know this stuff. So guess what? So every week we're going to lay the heat, and there's going to be sometimes you're going to hear things that you're like, ooh, ouch, right? But it's going to be stuff because we care about you guys and we want you to grow, and we want you guys to get everything that all these elite, elite ones and elite twos and elite threes have gotten because of Modere. And we want to grow this team to where there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of elites that people are just like, man, like that's what they do. Like this is a team that's known for like popping elites, like popping popcorn, right? And the one thing that I got to share with you guys is this. A lot of you guys are brand new D1s. A lot of you guys are brand new D2s and D3s. And I want you to know something. There is nothing different between me and you. The only thing that's different is time. The only thing that's different is I've probably talked to a few more people than you have. I've probably gotten a few more no's. I've probably gotten a few more rejections. Like at the end of the day, that is the only thing that is different between you and I. And I, as I was sitting down putting together, what I wanted to share with you guys on this call, it just was taking me back to just really what it was like before I went Elite One, right? And I think a lot of people, it's like, a lot of you guys don't know. Like a lot of you guys, you came into Modere and Tony and I, we were already Elite Threes. Well, a lot of people don't know the backstory. Like we didn't go Elite One, guys, our first year. We didn't go Elite Two, or I should say even Elite One, our second year in the business. Like I was 4 years in before we went Elite Three. And a lot of times we get involved in this business and we look around and we see these people going Elite One and Elite One and Elite One, like their first 30 days, their first 60, their first 90, their first year. And we get all bummed out and we start comparing ourselves with everybody else. And we start, crying about, oh my God, like, is it me? Is it Modere? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, listen, you have got to take a breath. Like, you have got to understand, like, there's a process to this business, and there's a process of putting your dues in and doing the work and grinding it out and getting prepared for that next level. And the one thing that really helped me, you guys, so one thing, like if I look at everything in my business, what really helped me is understanding that every level that I was moving towards in Modere, I was being groomed and I was being prepared. And if I hadn't hit a certain rank yet, it's because I wasn't ready for that rank yet. So don't look at it and go, you know what? Like, why can't I get to elite yet? Or why can't I get to elite 2 yet? Or why can't I get to elite 3 yet? And start reevaluating our life, and the sky is falling, or oh my gosh, that. And I'm like, no, listen, there's experiences that you have to still go through in this business that's preparing you for that level, whatever that level is at, right? Even if you're an elite 3 and you're on this call tonight and you want to get to that next level in this business, realize that you're still being groomed, and you still have to go through these experiences to get you ready, right? Ready for whatever is going to, happen and hit you when you get to that next level. Even for Tony and I, we know we're pushing just like all the rest of us to get to that next level. But we also know, hey, listen, these experiences that are happening, the experience that happened to me today is getting me ready and prepared for that next level. So I want you guys to take a big, deep breath and don't realize that people are, a lot of times we hear about these elite runs and all that. And yes, we work hard, and yes, we make a push, but also know too, I want you to stop and like enjoy where you're at right now, and enjoy and be grateful for where you're at, and go, you know what, gosh, it's great being a D1 right now. It's great being a D2 right now. It's great being a D3. It's great being an E1 and an E2 and soaking it up, not saying you're going to take your foot off the gas, not saying you're not going to continue the daily method of operations that we all know, but just being able to just go, gosh, I'm grateful for where I'm at. I'm excited to where I'm going. I'm ready to experience those things that I need to go through to get me ready for that next level, whenever that may be, right? It may be a couple of months, it may be a year, but at the end of the day, I always tell people, it doesn't matter when you get to elite. It just matters that you do, right? It just matters that you get there. And so I want to encourage you to have that perspective as you are working your business every single day, is just know, like, if you just keep doing the things we know we need to be doing, right? Which is the invite and the follow-up and the, staying connected and building the relationships, like, it's going to come, right? It's going to come in the time when you're ready. So I want to encourage you guys to understand, there's a couple of things I want to share with you guys tonight. Number one, understand that it is July. It is in the middle of summer, right? So what does that mean? That means that there's some people that are taking a nap out there in network marketing land. But let me tell you, this team, we don't really take naps. We might take a cat nap for a minute, but we don't really take naps. We understand that when people are zigging, we're zagging. That's 29 our motto. We're like, if everyone's snoring, we're out there, we're running the sprint like nobody else's business. And I look at, guys, no joke, every year with Modere, but also, I want you to hear me, in the last 20 years that I've been doing this business, every single year, guess when our biggest month has been? July. Every single year for 20 years, it's always been our biggest month. Why? Because we chose to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing out there. And so I want to encourage you guys to take that on, that mindset of, you know what? July is going to be my biggest month. Like, July is a month that we make it happen. And, it's easy for a lot of us to take our foot off the brake because of summer, because school's out, because whatever it may be. But this is kind of the season, guys, where you got to kind of double down. You know what I mean? I tell people, it's like where we each pull the weight, none of us drop the ball, and we not only do we pull the weight, but we kind of do a little bit extra, right? It's where we go that extra mile, during these summer months. And I look at, for my business, I think about, it's easy for us, especially, as you start building a significant team, right? And I don't even know what that means. I don't know if it's like, 10 people in your group, 20 people, 50 people, 100 people. Obviously, we've got incredible elites on this call that have got, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. But it's really easy for us to get lackadaisical in this business and forget like what we had to do in the business to get us where we are, right? And I was talking with Tony today, and there's a really like fine line of, working inside of your team, but also still recruiting, right? And for some of us, we do a good job of that. And then for others of us that are on this call, we kind of like will kind of go from one side to the other. We'll either be really great at recruiting and then we forget about our team, or we just get in with our team and go into management mode and then we stop recruiting, right? And I want to encourage you guys to really do your best to always be, really hypersensitive and aware of, I need to be doing both, right? I still need to be doing both where, you're driving down on your team and you're working with your people, right? Not just recruiting them and seeing if they stick and not saying, hey, go do the life system, go get them, right? But holding their hand, what I call like using kid gloves and, helping them, work through, going silver, getting their 3, right? And then focusing on, helping those 3 do the same thing, but also, really staying connected with your team. And guys, like when I connect with people that I personally brought in, I'm always connecting with them and saying, hey, listen, how you doing? Like, are you feeling stuck? Like, where do you feel like you're feeling stuck? Where do you feel like you're being challenged? Where do you feel like you're winning, right? So I can love on them and encourage them and celebrate them. If they're feeling stuck at inviting, I don't just like, bark at them a bunch of stuff. I'm like, hey, listen, let's role play. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm talking, with, anyone, like really not even our personals, but really anybody that's inside of our team. And I'm like, hey, if you're feeling stuck on inviting, let's talk about inviting. Invite me right now. How would you invite me? Right? If you were doing follow-up, how would you be doing follow-up with me? Are you feeling stuck at 3-way chats? All right, let's initiate a 3-way chat right now. What are you doing in that chat? Right? And I feel like I love role plays. A lot of people, they kind of get lazy in this business. They don't feel that, they'll kind of try to give a word of encouragement to their team versus I'm like, listen, let's like deep dive into this thing and let's get to the root of it and figure out, how do I help you break through? How do I help you break through with inviting where you're jacked about inviting, right? How do I help you break through where you feel confident in follow up? Or how do I help you break through where you feel like you're a rock star when it comes to doing 3-way chats? So making sure, guys, that, getting in, like being a leader and becoming a leader, right? I know some of us, it's scary. Like I will tell you, like when I started my business, I wasn't the person that was afraid of failure. I was a person that was afraid of success. I was the girl that was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a team. What if I freaking let these guys down? Like, what if I'm not a good leader? Like, I don't even know what the heck it means to be a leader, right? So guys, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this whole word of leader. I just want you to know, like, a leader is just someone that's a good guide that jumps in, that helps support and helps navigate people through, like, just maybe some of the little challenges or bumps that they have to help them push through on the other end, right? To where they're getting these wins and these little, just like little celebrations, right? Where we can just acknowledge them and cheer them on. And so there's definitely a fine line of like digging in that group, because you could do all that stuff all day long. But if you forget about the recruiting process, I tell people, you still have to be that person that's actively creating those new stories. Why? Because your team is watching you. Whether you like it or not, they're watching you. They know if you're bringing a brand new person on board. They might not say anything to you, but in their mind, they're thinking, well, gosh, Susie hasn't brought somebody on board in a long time, because I haven't seen her share her story or post about it in a group. Or when was the last time that Susie welcomed somebody in a group, right? Like, when was she doing it? Like, and they might not be saying that, guys, but they're thinking that. So for Tony and I, we look at it and we go, you know what? We know we need to continuously be bringing brand new people on. And sometimes as you're growing a business, it might seem a little bit exhausting where you're like, God, I didn't think I like had to continuously be bringing new people in. But I will tell you guys that is part of our business, is creating those stories like every single month. This is what I'm telling myself. Whose story am I creating this month? Whose story? And if you're not continuously creating new stories personally, you got to get back into that, right? Because your group is looking at you. They're looking at you going, what are you doing? Right? Now, we don't need to be the person that's like slave driving our team. We need to be the person that just is continuously leading by example with these fresh new stories. Now, I'll tell you guys, for me, I look at my business when Tony and I, when we launched our business, right? When we first started Modair, people always ask us, well, how many people did you guys bring in? Or what did you do? Or when did you start, like, really developing your leaders and that sort of thing? Personally, for us guys, here's our story. Our story is that we put our head down and we recruited 50 people in 90 days. And then we looked up 50 people in 90 days. And here's the thing. We had a non-compete with our company. So guess what? We didn't bring one single person over and from our old business. We put together a list of people that had said no to us in the past, people that I had never talked to about in the business before, new relationships that I cultivated. And I just went out there and we got after it. And we did everything that you guys see inside of Modair. We put together our list. We invited people to take a look at a link. We invited them to look at a video. We got them on a 3-way call or a 3-way chat, and we enrolled. And that's all that we did day in and day out. And after 90 days, we looked up. And then from there, we started developing the leaders and started working with them, helping them, get to the next ranks. But I think for a lot of us, it's like, oh, we brought 3 people in, I'm done. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not done. You're just getting warmed up. And so I want to encourage you that, if you are someone that maybe has brought just a handful of people in, and you're maybe saying, hey, Sarah, I feel like I'm having a hard time recruiting, there's a couple of things that I want to give you as a tip. Number one, connect with your sponsor or your upline or your closest elites, right? Or even like your closest, D2, D3, if you're just a D1, and connect with them and say, listen, I'm having a hard time recruiting, right? And let them know what your challenge is. Maybe you're, feeling stuck, inviting or having a hard time knowing how to transition from building a relationship to talking about the business, or maybe you're having a hard time with follow-up, whatever that is. You take the initiative to reach out. I tell people, I know who a leader is. You know how? Not based on their title, based on if they're willing to reach up to me, I'm like, this person's hungry. Like, this person wants it. So make sure that you take the initiative and reach out. And if you can't get a good connection with that person, reach out to the next one, or reach out to the next one till you can grab a hold of somebody that's going to help you role play, help you walk through this stuff, to help you have a breakthrough, with recruiting. The second thing I would tell you is this. If you're having a hard time recruiting, sometimes it's because you're making it about you. Early on in my career, when I first started out in network marketing, I had a hard time, guys. I mean, a lot of you guys know my story. Like, I didn't bring on my first person into the business. It was like a year plus, guys, before I brought my first, like, we didn't call it a social marketer, as a distributor in the business, me, right? And I had a hard time because I was making it all about me. Even though I was kind of using the tools, but kind of wasn't, I needed to learn how to, it's like, Sarah, if you could learn how to step out of the way and just use the tools and use the link and guys, we've got like tools, coming out the yin yang, right? Literally everywhere you can imagine, tools that we can use to build our business and introduce the business. So, if you're feeling like you're stuck, I would take a step back and go, have I been making this process about me? Like, have I been, not using the tools, right? Have I been not using my upline? Have I not been doing, 3-way chats? Have I been not doing, 3-way calls? It's very obvious for Tony and I to realize who's recruiting and who's not based on if they're setting up 3-way chats and 3-way calls with us, or if, like, what's happening in their business. It's so simple to see that process. And I want to encourage you, like, because it's the summer months, like, I want us to be a team that's doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. While people are taking the foot off the gas, like, doubling down on recruiting, right? Pushing through the things that you might be a little bit scared with, so we can help you guys have a breakthrough on the other side. Now, for those of you that do have a little bit bigger of a team, I do want you guys to dive down in your group, but I will tell you, at the same time, like I've made this mistake. It's so easy for us to fall into just like managing our group and managing our group. And I always tell people, a lot of you guys have heard me say this, your existing team is what your existing team is. I gotta say this again to somebody needs to hear this again. Your existing team is what your existing team is, right? And so I tell people, it's great what your team is, but you've got to go out there and to continuously be bringing in brand new people to create those stories. And, you know, especially there's a lot of women that are on the Zoom. We have a lot, I think our numbers are so high in Modere, right? It's like, I don't even know, probably 85%, 90% are women. I know we've got some guys on the call. I love you guys. I don't want to leave you guys out, but I will tell you guys that there's it's like there's this fine art in our business of loving and helping people versus what I call mother henning them to death, right? Where, you know, some of us, we might be a D2 or a D3 or even an E1, and we're having a hard time with growing leaders in our business. And I have to ask you, are you loving and helping your team, or are you mother henning them? And guys, I will tell you, I am very guilty of mother henning my team. I am very guilty of that. And I still struggle with that. And I'm very hypersensitive, aware of that. So I do my best not to do that because I want my people to become independent, right? And I will tell you a lot of times, I'm just going to be totally frank with you guys right now. A lot of times, and again, because I've totally done this many times, we mother hen our people because it feels great to feel needed. It feels great to feel important, right? But I had to come to the point of like, Sarah, is that what you want? Or do you want to make money? Like, do you want to create residual income? Do you want to ride up into the sunset? Do you want to impact thousands of lives? Like, what do you want? And I had to learn how to let the team use me as a resource, not I need you. I'm going to say that again. I had to learn how to let the team use me as a resource, not I need you. And that is, for a lot of us, that is a tough thing. That is a tough thing. But once I learned that, I'm telling you, some of you guys need to be like liberated right now. Like, because I'm telling you, it is so incredible when you get past the point of feeling like this feels great. It makes me feel important versus like, oh my gosh, like, listen, I'm a resource and that's it, right? Because we want our people to become independent as fast as possible, because that's how they're going to grow into these amazing leaders, right? And you know, like, hey, I love you, Sarah, but I don't need you. Like, I love that, you know, but they know that I'm there if they, you know, want me to help them push through or guide them or help them strategize or what have you. But I think it's important for all of us right now is, especially in the summer, is to double down and go, hey, listen, I might be recruiting now, but like, maybe I need to double down on a little bit more. You know, maybe I realize I'm digging down on my team, which is great, but I'm not really recruiting. Or maybe I am recruiting a lot, but I'm not digging down on my team and helping them work through maybe some of the challenges they might have versus me just trying to motivate them, right? What if we help them work their skills and push through that stuff versus going, hey, keep going. That's great. But like, I want my guys to push through and develop these amazing skills, right? So one of the things that I want to encourage you guys to do as well is that we all know, if I open this call right now and ask all of us, how important do we think events are? We'd all be like screaming a resounding, yes, like we get it, right? But it's important. A lot of you guys are brand new director ones, brand new director twos. So we want to give you guys, I want to give you a tip that literally all the elites do, even probably the higher levels of in directors do as well, is really taking inventory of how many people that you have registered for Orlando. Because guys, the one thing that we all know, every single one of us, we know this. Events, literally, I know this without a shadow of a doubt because of my business over 20 years, that every event literally takes a year, 6 months to a year off my learning curve in the business. All of us. And I tell people, if we don't encourage people and show them the value of why they need to be at an event, guys, we are doing them the biggest disservice ever. It's like a shame on us for not doing whatever we can, right? And shame on us for buying excuses on why somebody can't go to an event. I understand we all have kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. I understand majority of us have jobs. I understand that we have all these things, right? I get that. But I also know too, the importance of getting people to an event, because guess what it does? It guarantees them another year in the business, right? Where we all know that a lot of people, when they get to an event, they might be on empty, right? Because all of us on this Zoom, we are calling in from all over Canada and all over North America, right? So I love this business because I feel like we're a family. But the reality is, a lot of us, I know this too, guys, it's a lonely business. So these events fill us up that can't fill us up even on a call like this, right? And move people into action where we can never move them, right? And so I want to encourage you, for those of you that are brand new that haven't started doing this, but literally tonight, get out a piece of paper and write down who do I have? Is Susie coming? Is Joey coming? Is Julie coming? Is Bobby coming? Is John coming, right? Who's registered for Orlando? And if they're not, make sure you have a conversation with them. And if you're brand new and if you haven't been to an event yet and you're like, well, Sarah, how do I talk to these people? Again, take the initiative and reach up. Talk to your sponsor, talk to your upline directors, talk to your upline elites and say, listen, would you help me connect with these people and share with them why they need to be at this next event, right? And bring them in to help you get these people registered. And so I want to have you guys just really be focusing on, these events. And I think too, guys, we do a great job of this, but I will tell you too, all of us that are on here, guys, we are an incredible army that literally this event that's in Orlando, all of us that are on this call, guys, we could fill the entire event by ourselves. Everyone that is on this Zoom, on this call today, we could fill that event, 5,000, 6,000 people without a shadow of a doubt, with no other lines inside of Modere, just us. If we really took on the mindset of taking the inventory, right? And writing that down and, focus on growing that number every single week, right? And figuring out, all of us guys, I tell people, all of us are up and coming leaders and leaders. Guess what we are as leaders? We're problem solvers. So guess what? We're going to be problem solving a lot to find a way to get people there, whether they're getting roommates together, carpooling together, getting flights together, driving down together, renting a van together, renting a bus together, like whatever that looks like. Our job is we need to fill those seats and get people there, because we all know what events can do for people, right? And how it can completely change their life and have a defining moment that, quite frankly, I think about for myself. My very first event that I went to, I was 4 days in the business. I was 21 years old. I came in the business. My sponsor didn't want to go. I didn't even know who my upline was yet. I flew from Minneapolis to Dallas. The registration for the ticket, guys, was $700. I bought a plane ticket. I stayed in a hotel room by myself. I was in an event with 7,000 people. And I'll never forget taking notes. I was sitting up in the nosebleeds and I was taking notes on everything I knew nothing about. I knew nothing about this business yet, but I was like, well, this sounds important. I'm going to take notes because one day I'm going to be able to go back to them. And I'll never forget, there was a time in this event and I was sitting there and you guys, I started bawling. Like I was bawling uncontrollably, like literally where people were like looking around me going, oh my God, like what's up with this girl, right? But you guys, you know why I was crying? I cried because you know what? I knew at the age of 21 that my life was never, ever, ever going to be the same. I knew that, right? Like I still think about it right now. I have goosebumps. I knew that. And if I would, that event is the only reason that I'm here today, 20 years later. So what could the event in Orlando do for your brand new people like me? Because all of you know Sarah Zolecki. who, you know what I mean? Like all of you guys know somebody like me that's hungry, that wants to change their life. But you just have to push them a little bit and show them why they need to be at this event. So I want to encourage you guys that, yes, let's focus on recruiting. Yes, let's focus on, working with our teams and helping them, go silver and get 3. But also, too, understanding that getting them to the event is not extra. We need to take that out of our mindset. It is not extra in this organization. It is part of the deal, right? Just just when someone starts a new job, this is online training. It is the same thing, right? So when you enroll a brand new person, guess what? Right away, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You're going to be able to come to Orlando. I can't wait for you to come, right? And making sure they understand the value of that. And again, guys, majority of us, we have people coming in at the XM collection so they get a free dang ticket. I mean, come on, it really doesn't line up any easier for us than this, right? So guys, I am super excited about this team. You guys had an unbelievable June, an incredible start of July, but I want to encourage you guys to double down on your recruiting, double down on really digging in your team, taking inventory of all your people that are coming to Orlando, being that person that puts on the hat of being a problem solver and making sure you get people there. Don't get lazy, right? The last thing you want to do is get lazy on getting people to Orlando, because then shame on us for not showing them the value of why they need to be there, right? And doing them a disservice by not getting them to that event. So guys, I love you. Make sure you guys are connected with your upline elite so they can help you have a rockin' month. They can help you push through on the stuff you need to push through with. Make sure you're using them for 3-way chats, to help get those people enrolled. And then obviously, rolling into the next, 60, 90 days in Orlando is just going to be crazy, crazy amazing. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We'll get you guys this link as soon as it's done. But let's have a fantastic month of July. And we'll talk to you guys actually next week, same time, same channel, as we rock out these elites on the rise. So love you guys. Appreciate you. And we'll talk to you soon.